So
Yeah.
Mark Zuckerberg has just lit the keg on fire, man. I think it's been brewing for a little while. We've seen slow moves with, AI poaching of talent, right? But Zuckerberg decided that the metaverse sucked. And he tried to fix it. He's rebranded it yet again. And now he is just willing to pay literally any top dollar. So recent reports coming out that he made an offer for $1 billion. He offered one AI tech executive a 4-year, $250 million per year for $1 billion offer. And the person turned it down to stay with OpenAI, right? This is how crazy the market has gotten to try to poach AI tech talent right now.
Why would you stay?
Money's not the reason these guys do this, right? Like they all are getting so much money at some point. There's definitely been tons of research shown that there's periods of diminishing returns, right? You get to a point where you make more than 50 million a year, it's a number, right? It's not like they actually spend it. They don't care about the money at that point. So they're probably in the middle of some project that they want to see through. Um, Andre Kaparsky is a really good example of this, right? He stayed with Tesla for a long time, tried to get poached away from tons of other people, had crazy offers, ended up just leaving just because he wanted to, right? And so this goes to show that he stayed with Tesla's FSD for almost 13 years, but then ended up just kind of drifting off. And he pops himself back in, right? He pops himself in back frequently, but considered one of the best minds in OpenAI or in AI out there. And he actually went OpenAI, Tesla, then back to OpenAI. So he's a good example of one of these early talent poaches, and then just drifted off because he's
Yeah.
now doing what he wants to do. And I think that's a lot of what these guys do, right? So Microsoft actually came in and acquired all of the top talent of Windsurfer rather than buying the company because that gets really hard with red tape. They just came and poached all the people because you can hire people however you want without any legal
Yeah.
red tape, but did that for $2.4 billion. Right? Like these are big numbers. So the talent race is crazy right now. Like you said,
So
you
I have a
can,
question for you.
yeah.
Is Mark Zuckerberg poaching talent so that others can't have it, or is he poaching talent because he's building this product that we don't know about yet?
I get asked by my followers all the time if I think that there's secret things going on and if somebody's secretly building a superpower. I don't think anybody's doing anything secretly because I think they're so vocal right now about this. And the reason why is because every single like saber rattle out there right now affects their stock price, right? Like I mean by huge margins. So
Yeah.
I think Zuckerberg's doing this because he's already spent almost $100 billion. So we're there. Facebook is approaching $100 billion mark on what they've spent on the metaverse so far. And so far, he has absolutely nothing to show for it. And so, if nothing else, he can show, well, at least I've got this talent. And I think he truly believes if he brings his talent in, he will get something out of the metaverse. And I think he'll be able to take the metaverse and turn it into an AI powerhouse. Right now, Meta's Llama, their latest Llama release was kind of a dud. It didn't really top any of the benchmarks and definitely didn't grab any headlines. But their actually older model of the 3.2 model is still considered one of the best small models out there. And Meta does everything in open source. But again, as we talked about this open source and this flip, the actual latest, these are all just rumors, but the latest rumor is that their new model will not be open source. Now, I'll be curious to see if that's true because Zuckerberg's always been really big about open source and sourcing all their AI work. But so we're going to see if this becomes open source or not. But I think the talent shortage is so bad, so low. There's so few people who actually understand how to build these large AI systems at scale that it's just a mass power grab when the money is worth so much.
Yeah. No, I hear what you're saying. When Meta has their earnings call, I'm really going to pay attention to what Mark Zuckerberg is saying because he's going to get questions from analysts like, why are you spending so much shareholder money on this? I mean, Meta has the money. And so I know we think $100 billion from Metaverse is a lot. I could see him just scrapping it and using that compute for something else. Entirely possible. Meta's a $1.7 trillion company, so not quite Microsoft, about half the size of Microsoft, half the size of NVIDIA, but still a multiple $1 trillion company, which is pretty crazy. You also kind of going back to the talent war, just yesterday, I believe you had Elon Musk poach one of NVIDIA's top AI minds. He led Cosmos, a state-of-the-art world model, and he's joining on the Grok 4 team. So even Elon's not being left out of this talent war, and I think he's I don't know what's going to happen from here. Like, how much better is Grok 5 going to be than Grok 4? Like, how much better is that for the consumer? Like, what do we see from here?
So I think this from Elon is very strategic. Elon has grown Grok with absolute brute strength, right? So OpenAI has tried to do kind of a combination, but Elon is like literally the biggest data center, the biggest subset of data. He's literally just brute forced it by throwing the biggest at it. So I think this is actually shows a very strategic hire that Elon's like, okay, we built 200,000 H100 systems. I got to make it bigger. How do I do that? I got to go steal the guy from NVIDIA to help me do this, because I got to know even down at the very, like, how can I squeeze more out of those chips, right? How can I do more on the data center? So to me, this tells that Elon is just still going at the biggest model. He's just, how do I go bigger? And he's going at pure hardware strength,
Yeah.
which he can, right? And I actually think it's a brilliant strategy. I think that's really, really, I think it's a really big strategy, and you don't hear a lot about XAI poaching people. I think they've stayed a pretty small, concise team since Elon's built it. So to hear a big, high-profile one, I looked into who he stole, and I think that is what was most telling from that talent acquisition.